Going on, everybody? Let's talk about depression and a different way to look at it and solutions. If we start to observe it differently and understand actually what it is rather than getting into there's too much of serotonin and not enough of melatonin. I mean, we start to do all that and breaking things down as everyone likes to do. They like to compartmentalize everything and specialize and try to figure out how things work. But as I always try to do is give you a better way of looking at it and realize it's not actually a problem. It's not. A lot of people look at depression and other types of mental dis-ease as something more than it is. And the easiest way we can observe this is everything boils down to energy acquisition, expenditure, and accumulation of it. Everything that we do in every way, shape, and form. We're not going to get into it's about power. I mean, it's observed as power or energy, but it's what keeps people afloat. It's what keeps people moving. And some people absorb and use energy in different ways than other people. You have hoarders of energy, which can be just as depressed because they're not using it. You have people that have ways of using energy that is, it's like burning a hole in your pocket. People that get a little bit of energy and spend it. And then you have other people that you spend it in different ways. And there's no, the solution to it for people isn't what most people assume it is, and the cause of it isn't what most people assume it is. A lot of people always connect certain behaviors to depression, yet those same types of behaviors can be solutions to depression. I didn't use a simple, obvious one here. If anybody's ever had those little, you've spent your energy and you're feeling depressed after spending it, and maybe you're kind of broke as it were, and you don't have any energy, and you don't want to leave, and you don't leave the house. You're kind of like, you're in bed, and everybody's like, hey, come out and come do this, come play. Oh, I don't have the energy to do that. But if somebody goes, hey, don't worry, I got you today. Here, let's go have a couple of drinks and go enjoy ourselves. That thing that everybody says, oh, alcohol is the cause of it. It's not the cause of it, because you can see that you go out and you have a good time and you expend some energy that somebody bequeathed to you, and you have a good time, and it solves that current issue. And the influx of energy into your system. If you have a low bank account and somebody give you a loan, it's in the same way. You've ascertained energy, and it takes away from the burden of not having energy. So if we observe these different things in life, if we observe these different mental, I don't want to call them paradigms, but just what we go through mentally in our certain situations, and depression being one of them. As you see, obviously the word depressed is depressed. So some of the solutions for depression is just to be depressed. There's no take a nap, relax. I'm because of the way that I obtain and spend currency, energy within my system. There are times I'll go for a very, very long time and be completely full of current and energy because of the way that I expend it. And there are other times that I'll get a giant chunk of energy and I'll spend it on everyone. And I'll it's like you'll notice maybe I'll make 10 videos in a day. Maybe I won't make any for a week. Now there's something that's happening there with other ways that I'm spending my currency or energy, and sometimes there might be depression, or I'll be going through a deep rest because I've spent my energy. I've talked, I've sung, I've danced, I've went and enjoyed myself. And after that, the solution for anybody, I don't care what you're doing, if you've gone to the gym, what do you do afterwards? You take a deep rest. You're depressed after you work out. It's just is such. You need to rest. And in that resting area, that time and recharging that's occurring is actually the building up of the muscle, is building up in the repair. To repair yourself. So if you look at depression just from a stance of it's a lack of energy, the way to obtain that energy can come in many different ways for people. Many different ways. Some of it is just as easy as be depressed. There's no, you know, everybody's like, oh, here, depression. This is, oh, it's sad. It's so sad you're depressed. No, it's not sad. It's not a bad thing. It's not a, and as soon as I, you know, years ago when I observed and, you know, pondered what it was, I stopped becoming, I guess, controlled by it, or upset by it, or it was something that I accepted. Why? Because I accepted the hilarity and the wonderment and the craziness and the weirdness and how I spent my energy the days prior. So the expenditure of that energy, I was like, well, of course, if I go and buy a vehicle, I go buy a $20,000 vehicle and have $20,000 in the bank, I'm going to be broke after that. But I'm going to have a new vehicle. If I go and I go on vacation and spend $5,000 and afterwards I'm broke, that's essentially the exact same thing as what depression would be. Why? But I accept the experience for what I got before that. And then during the depression, I see it as a recharging. And if you observe what you feel as, oh, I'm out of energy, because that's exactly what it is. I mean, I don't have energy to do anything. I don't have mental energy. I don't have physical energy, emotional energy. It's because it's been spent. Now, during those times, accept it as such. And there's nothing to be sad about. There's nothing to be worried about. There's nothing to, don't make the issue more different than it is. Don't make it more than it is, because it's just the result of spending energy. Now, if you don't want to be, then don't spend all your energy. It's as easy as that. But some people enjoy. Some people would rather have, you know, a bigger, wilder experience, and some people maybe not. But the solution would be, obviously, hey, let's not push it to the limits. Let's not do that. And there's something to be said for that. And there's also something that's very troubling about that. It's that it's like playing sports. Like, who's really going to give it their all? And that's the same kind of idea. The harder you play, the harder you go at it, the harder you do, the more energy you'll acquire, the more you'll spend. But you'll be more powerful. You'll be a more powerful being, all in all. You'll have gained more experience. You'll have gained more. It's like, some people may seem like they have zero energy and zero power, but if you knew what they were made of, meaning the acquisition of all of the events of their life and what they have inside of them, how much money has flowed through, how much energy and currency has flowed through someone, it's a different idea. You know, people could have millions of dollars in the bank. That doesn't mean they're not rich of experience, rich of wisdom. Somebody could be sitting there broke but have had billions of dollars or billions of energy units course through their system, and they're rich in that way. So when you start observing depression as part of an energy acquisition and resting period and recharging, it's a simple thing. There's nothing to worry about. Depression isn't an issue. It's not a problem. This goes along with a lot of other things that people tend to make a bigger deal. You know, making mountains out of molehills. Making a bigger deal out of something that it is. And people are like, oh, well, we got to take a pill. We've got to do this. We've got to fix that. Well, sometimes there's nothing to fix. Sometimes there's no reason to. The fixing is in the not doing. As I've done in a few of my recent talks about the way to fix health, the way to get healthy, not fix health, but to get rid of a dis-ease is sometimes just to people would call it meditation, and that's somehow recharging and relaxing, but so is sleep. And this goes into, and to get deeper into these things, maybe I'll do a part 2 and 3 on this to be more specific, but we'll get into like brainwave patterns and and delta sleep and recharging there, and theta sleep and dream world and expenditures there, and creation within the dream world. And as well when you're walking around here, just changing breathing patterns can oftentimes bring you energy, bring you current, bring you the thing that gets rid of whatever, that gives you rest. By giving yourself more oxygen, you're doing a lot for your body as far as speeding up a healing process. You can trade in the length of time that you need to rest with proper breathing mechanisms. So I hope you guys enjoyed this and have a little bit of more of a good idea of what deep rest is and why it's not anything really to worry about. And enjoy your day, everybody. Cheers.